Okay, canopy's down. Engine looks good. All pressure's good. Landing lights on. Squawking altitude. Steer point switch. Check out flap switch. Check the flap switch. Norm.
Aces 5-1, runway 12 left, clear for takeoff, change to departure.
Aces 5-1, clear for takeoff, 12 left, push 5. We're going to line up on the runways. And we'll line up on the runway, belly up.
Number 978 Mike Alpha, fly heading 150 vector for descent. Number 978 Mike Alpha, rudder, set to maintain 5,000. Cessna 255 Kilo Romeo, contact Albuquerque Center 125.4. Number 978 Mike Alpha, cleared visual approach Stellar Airport.
Ace 5-1, check 2. Okay, all pressure increase is good. Nozzles opening. Acceleration looks good.
3240 Kilo, climb maintain 6,000.
Engine looks good.
Station 8 Mike Alpha, report cancellation of IFR on this frequency.
Departure Aces 5-1 on departure, unrestricted climb to 10,000.
Number 978 Mike Alpha, cancellation received, maintain VFR at or below 4,000.
Gears up, lighten the handles out. Departure Aces 5-1 at a 2,000 for 10,000.
Okay, Aces 5-1, Phoenix departure, altimeter 2992, radar contact, maintain 10,000.
Aces 5-1, we'll maintain 10,000.
Number 978 Mike Alpha, I just want to make sure you have Stellar Air Park inside. It's now at your 2 o'clock and about 7 miles. You're due eastbound now. Brake Mike Alpha rudder. Maintain VFR.
So we talked in the brief about the big picture overview of what's going on. What is our role?
Okay, so our role today, we are Red Air, the adversaries, off doing offensive counter air. So Blue is assuming a defensive posture, and we are trying to bomb a target in their territory. So we've got offensive counter air fighters that are going to try and shoot down all the Blue Air fighters so that our bombers can get through and hit that target. It's going to be a tough fight for everybody. We're going to be shooting each other. We're going to be running out of missiles. Missiles will be defeated. Some will time out, and we'll see what our tactic does. Blue Air's job is to be able to adapt in relation to whatever the bandits do so that they can kill them all and protect their target. Our job is to exploit any mistakes they make. So we need to be good enough to identify mistakes and then exploit them by taking shots. The objective is not to slaughter Blue Air. The objective is really to, once again, identify mistakes so that they don't forget them. And they don't forget them by, you punish those mistakes in a professional manner. You punish it by, you know, if they get shot and they have to kill or move, they go to the penalty box and they miss out on the fight. And that's disappointment. It's a little embarrassing, and that's okay, because when you have that emotion, they won't forget it and they won't let it happen again.
Yeah, makes sense. I think of how Red Flag was started. A lot of people were getting shot down in Vietnam. They started these large force exercises to be able to prepare pilots, get them their first 10 combat sorties in a training environment.
Absolutely, that's a brilliant piece of data. You know, you see, if you experience your first few missions in combat, I think it's 5 or 10, you were saying, you have a 90% survival, a chance of survival in future combat. So, how can we get those 5 to 10 missions before going into actual combat? How do you drive the emotion, intensity, and task saturation of combat without actually going into combat? And you hit the nail on the head. That's Red Flag. That's what Red Flag's all about.
So we're flying an F-16, but today we're replicating a different aircraft. Can you talk about that?
Sure. So today our F-16 is equipped to replicate just about any enemy aircraft out there. Today we're going to be Su-30s, but I can hit a button on the advanced aggressor fighter and replicate pretty much anything I want to out there. Russian, Chinese, any adversary threat.
What's that like? Because I grew up probably like you. Replicating Red Air was pretty rudimentary, it was pretty difficult. So what's it like to be able to manipulate the avionics to be able to be a different aircraft?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It was really painful because you had to do math while you're flying, 0.9.
Basis 1, Baron.
Yeah, go ahead, Barrett.
So at 36,000 rump with 4 backs. Pull up more limited maneuver and clear clouds.
Copy. We'll be
Passing.
Stand by, dude. Light. Let's just see what this is. All right, we're good. Copy that, Billy Bob. We'll use a 25,000 foot floor for the clouds. Just avoid the clouds. And we're doing some talking up here, so I'll get back to you in a bit. All right, so yeah, it was rudimentary. You're doing a lot of math in the jet just to make sure you're replicating enemy missiles properly, the enemy aircraft properly, and then also flying the tactics that the bad guys fly. We have a huge intel network with the aggressors. We know just about everything the bad guy, a potential enemy, is doing tactically, procedurally, and what weapons they're using and what those weapons can do. We take that intel data and we use that to replicate enemy fighters. And all that data is written down in something called the ATRG, the Adversary Threat Replication Guide. It's the Bible for the aggressors. It tells us what every enemy fighter can do, what their weapons can do, what tactics they fly. When we memorize it, we design our employment, our mission employment, based on those tactics.
And you were a previous aggressor, so I can kind of moonlight as Red Air, but you guys completely dedicated several years of your career to trying to replicate Red Air, is that right?
That's correct, yeah. You go through an upgrade program, and you get to be, when I went through the aggressors, you had to be an IP in your major weapon system. I came from the F-15C. Then you get to be a wingman again, and you go through an entire upgrade program to become an aggressor. Then you got to go through flight lead again, mission commander, and IP all over again, this time as an aggressor. So by the time you're an IP, you've got the knowledge down pretty well.
And so we're not carrying missiles, obviously, not shooting guns. So can you talk about how it works when we're flying in the air?
Yep. So yeah, we're not carrying anything live because we're on a training mission, and we're going to be actually pulling triggers and shooting pickle buttons at each other. So nothing live on board. But the aircraft is equipped with all the electronics required in the advanced aggressor fighter mission system. All the electronics required that if I hit that pickle button, it'll show fly out of a missile. If I pull the trigger, it'll show fly out of bullets on all my screens, all my electronic screens, and then it'll count down and assess those missiles for me.
Can you give a brief overview of the advanced avionics here?
Sure. Just check our airspace real quick. All right, yeah, so, we're flying an F-16, which is a 4th gen fighter, but we need to train our 5th gen fighters with a 4th gen airplane. So what we did is we ripped out a lot of the electronics from the original F-16s that we have, and we put in state-of-the-art electronics. The most important part of that is the ESA radar. So we have an airborne electronically scanned array radar. Not the old mechanically scanned radar, but electronically scanned array. It's much more powerful. It can see things much further away, and it can break out multiple targets even in close formation. So you can shoot multiples at the same time. The ESA radar is a big part of the advanced aggressor fighter. We also have the Scorpion helmet-mounted sight, which we use for high off-bore sight type weapons. So what that means is if I'm in a fight, old school, you had to get behind somebody because your missiles shot forward. So you had to get behind them, or you had to point at them, I should say. with high off-bore sight weapons and high off-bore sight helmet, like the Scorpion, all I have to do is look to the left, see a bad guy, and I can hit the pickle button, and that missile will come off, break left or right, and take out another threat. And we simulate that in Red Flag and with the Advanced Aggressor Fighter.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how important those avionics are. People care about the top speed, the altitude, but the use of radar, it's like going from vacuum tubes to transistors. It's just
Absolutely.
an order of magnitude better. Same thing with these augmented reality helmets. You're far more lethal. You have a lot more situational awareness. So I think that's a big emphasis for people out there to realize how much avionics matter in terms of your lethality.
Absolutely. Yeah, once again, it's a total game changer, having upgraded state-of-the-art avionics. Ace is 5-1, ready north.
Ace is 3 ready south.
Ace is fights on, fights on.
Ace is 3, fights on.
Ace is MiG, full time, push.
Ace is 1 Baron. Blue Arrow is marshalling south. 8 ship, gold. 2 groups, 4 contact, each. Azimuth 10.
Ace is 5-1.
Push it up, commit, check tapes on, and jammers on. Reference 170, Ace is 1.
Ace is 1.
Ace is 1, leading edge is turning hot. Target 19032, 31,000, track north.
Ace is 1. Aces 1 and 2, execute. Aces 1 hot.
Look for heat, nose, 25, high.
Aces 1's hot.
Conan 2, Fox 3, Bullseye, 180, 24, 24,000.
Aces 1, Fox 1.
Copy shot. Aces 1 Baron, look. 2 o'clock low, 10 miles.
Aces 1 searching. 2 o'clock.
Conan 2, timeout western east group.
Conan 2, PK miss.
Conan 2, copy miss. Second Fox 3, western east group.
Copy shot.
Aces 1, Baron, look. It's 3 o'clock, slightly high, 5 miles.
Aces locked there, tally 1. I'm gonna turn. Aces Fox 2.
Aces, singleton there.
Aces 5-1, knock it off, knock it off.
Aces 3, knock it off.
And we can turn to your south cap. So what just happened there, that was a long range fight. That was the initial wall that we were facing. And we traded a lot of shots. There was a PK miss that you might have heard. So PK miss is, PK stands for probability of kill. Just because you shoot a missile at somebody doesn't mean the missile's always going to work. So in today's extremely contested environment, air combat environment, lots of electronic attack, electronic warfare, missiles can get confused and sometimes they'll miss. And there's a non-trivial percentage rate of miss. And we figured that out. We have that data, so we train to it. And that's the point. So every now and then a missile's not going to hit. I'll also add that you know, when you're Blue Air and you do all that work to find a bad guy, or girl and shoot them, your missile doesn't fuse. That is a crappy feeling. When you shoot a missile and it doesn't work and the bandit is still alive, that is a real crappy feeling. But that's reality in air combat.
Yeah, these aren't golden gun rules, so I think it's good to be able to train to that, because flying fighters, you're going against an adversary that's thinking, they're trying to disrupt your kill chain. We're trying to do the same thing, so it's a cat and mouse game. It gets pretty complicated and pretty messy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
So the other part of that fight is, yeah, we ended up getting to a merge. Ideally, you want to kill everyone far away, beyond visual range. But, you know, with all the maneuvering and missiles and their behavior, sometimes you go to the merge, and now you're in what laymen call the dogfight.
So, Motor, can you talk about the mentality of Red Air? Because as fighter pilots, we always want to win, but can you talk about how, as Red Air, sometimes you're winning by losing?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And some people, when they do Red Air, and they're not professional aggressors, they do struggle with that. The mentality is to win. It's to be bold. It's to want to be the best you could ever be and get better every time. So had you go out there and accept the fact that if Blue Air does their job, they execute well, you're going to lose the fight. It's really just a maturity thing. You know what's best. You know, we were all Blue Air once. We're all going to be Blue Air again. With that thought process, that mentality, you know what you have to do. Make the CAF, the Combat Air Forces, better, the best they can be, and then everybody gets better. Because, as I said, we're all going to be back in the Blue Air cockpit someday, and we want those aggressors to be mature, fight a good fight, punish mistakes, and be professional.
Yeah, you don't want your call sign to be Rash, Red Air Superhero.
Oh, God, no. All right.
Ready north.
Ready south.
All right, we're 35 miles away. Fights on, fights on.
Ace 3, fights on.
Ace is 5-1 clean. Oop, there he is.
Ace's target. Bra. 21028. 34,000 leading on you.
Ace is 5-1.
Ace's target. 22023. 29,000.
Ace is 5-1.
Conan 2. That's Fox 3. Bullseye 04078. 32,000.
Ace is 5-1. Fox 1. Ace is 5-1. Cali 1, nose 10.
Conan 2, timeout. Nose 8, high.
Ace is 5-1. You're dead.
Copy, kill.
All right, so we just went to a merge with a singleton. We traded shots. There was a PK miss. So we blasted through that merge, and now
Conan 2, Fox 2.
now we're in a fight. Copy shots.
And Conan 2, second Fox 2, bullseye 13035, right hand turn 31,000.
Ace is 5-1. Engaged 1.
So singleton there, Ace is 1.
Ace 5-1. Anchored. Bullseye 170. 23. 31,000. Stay positive.
One, two, you're 6 o'clock, 1 mile.
2 bandits on you. Ace is 5-2. Press.
Ace 5-2 is engaged. Ace is 5-2 is defensive.
Ace is 5-1. Fox 2. Fox 2.
Copy shot.
Ace is 5-1. Splash 1. Left hand turn.
Conan 2, copy kill.
Ace is knock it off. Ace is 1. Knock it off.
Ace is 2, knock it off.
And 2, you are cleared to rejoin fighting wing on bay, please.
2.
Check 1 is 2.1.
2 is 3.3.
Oh, cool.
See, that's what every fight should be like, dude. Ah, there I am. All right, no more navigation problems. All right, let me just get us established here. Good fuel setting. Autopilot on. 25,000.
Hey, suspense out.
Okay, so what happened there is we went to the merge and I pick up a tally, I end up in a fight, and I was defensive since Blue Air saw me first. That is a good thing. It means Blue Air's doing a good job finding red air and shooting it. So we got in a maneuvering fight, and my number 2 man entered the fight, and the Blue Air ended up targeting my wingman. So I gave him the engaged role, and what that means is, since he's now defensive, my wingman's defensive, Blue Air's trying to kill him, all I want him to do is focus on killing and surviving. I don't want him to have to worry about keeping sight of me, so that's why I say press, and he calls engaged. He's now the engaged fighter. He just has to worry about the bandit and himself or herself. Me, as a support fighter, because I said press, now I have to watch both of them. I can still shoot the bad guy, which we did do, but I also have to look out and deconflict so we don't hit each other or have a midair. That's the support fighter's role. Now, all that I said right there is communicated in the air with 2 words: engaged, press. That's all it takes. So in half a second, you can establish the roles, who's responsible for what. And that's pretty crucial to air combat communications, to get as your point across in 1 word or a 1 hand signal.
Yeah, I think it's important to highlight how much more difficult it is to fight 2v1 as part of a team where you're interacting and both supporting each other and not just being what we'd call a high-speed cheerleader.
Yeah, right. So it's pretty crucial for in combat and in training for safety of flight, establishing the roles. And you want to do it as quickly and as simply as possible because there's just too much to worry about. All right, let's see how we're doing here. Actually,
Billy Bob 1's going to come left for RTB on the 070 radio.
Albuquerque Center, Aces 5-1.
Aces 5-1 Albuquerque.
Aces 5-1, request RTB, please.
Aces 5-1, roger. And would you like IFR or VFR?
VFR recovery, please. We'll be coming up initial tower.
And is it true that you guys are all former aggressor pilots?
it's true. We're all former aggressor pilots. I've had 2 aggressor tours myself. But yeah, Top Aces is very selective in who they hire. We look for previous aggressor drivers so that they understand the philosophy of knowing and replicating enemy tactics, techniques, procedures, and weapons.
What's the most meaningful sorting you've been on?
Oh, the most meaningful one was, actually it was weapons school DCA day. I was an aggressor for that. And so I had about 36 airplanes on my side, and we were offensive going to bomb a target, similar to today, except there were 36 of us. And Blue Air had about 24, 28 airplanes. There were strikers, suppression of enemy air defense fighters, air-to-air fighters. We had tankers, because we only have about 45 minutes of fuel on board, so we need aerial tankers to go get gas before we fight. That was the most meaningful, because it was a lot of planning, and it was executed safely, and Blue got some really good lessons learned.
What year was that?
That would have been 2013 or 2014.
Okay, there's a chance that I was in there too, because at a Shaw we used to come out there and then you guys would lead us around as Red Air.
Oh, awesome. I probably were.
I definitely remember Billy Bob.
Of course.
Aces 5-1, begin left turn ML for the initial.
Aces 5-1 to the left turn.
2622, begin left base, change runway 12 center, traffic on final for the right will be assessed, runway 12 center, clear to land. 2504, flash straight out, traffic be above you, flight of 2 F-16s out of the break at 3,100.
Aces on traffic in sight, braking left.
Upset 8, begin left turn. 2621, gave it to remain all set, gave it to Steve for pattern saturation. I'll call you back, you're number 2. Only 14 Alpha
Tango Tower calls next turn. Citation 43 Mike Sierra, squawk via bar, begin right crossing, make right traffic, runway 1 to right. Upset 8, once you join the right downwind, extend downwind, Tower calls base. Aces 5-1, say request.
Aces 5-1. Aces 5-1. Full stop for 2, please.
Aces 5-1, change to runway 1 to left, runway 1 to the left, clear to land.
Aces 5-1, gear down, clear to land, 1-2 left.
To 740, make left 360.
Handle down, 3 green lights.
740, thank you.
How you looking?
Good to go.
2504, begin left crossing, make left traffic. Cessna 181, 2 Echo, follow traffic, 12 o'clock, 2 miles, turn left crosswind, Archer, make left traffic. To 622, turn right taxiway Kilo, hold to runway 12 right, remain this frequency.
Aces 2 gear.
Aces 5-2, gear, Roger. To 622, hold to runway 12 right. Cessna 345, Charlie Sierra, turn right taxiway hotel, contact ground. To 740, extend right downwind, tower calls base.
Oh, the poor tower controller, man.
Citation 43 Mike Sierra, extend right downwind, tower calls base leg. So only 14 off Tango, turn left, join right downwind, midfield. To 827, runway 1 right, clear touch and go, then flash straight out.
Bingo.
Held it.
Upset 8, descent approved, right base approved. Number 2, you'll follow Archer 1 mile final, runway 1 right, clear to land, upset 8. To 659, Gateway Towers, ident.
My seat is safe. How is yours?
To 659, make right traffic, runway 1 right.
Radar off.
Citation 43 Mike Sierra, extend right down, tower calls base. So flight 3300, Gateway Tower, runway 1 right, continue, make left traffic.
Let's see, anything else to add?
I just want to emphasize the fact that being an aggressor, it's not about crushing Blue Air. That's not what we're doing. We're simply looking for mistakes or trying to force a mistake and then punish that mistake so that they remember it and they don't let it happen again. But if they do well, then they should be killing all the bad guys. We should all be getting killed out there. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Okay, Pretty Lou, run it up, shut down. Okay, canopy's coming up. Is the canopy clear?
Clear.